Good morning. Welcome to the 5 Minute Crochet Podcast. I'm Ellen Gormley. Maybe I should leave my glasses on today. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired from my trip. A little bit of jet lag. So I wanted to tell you the story of the Tunisian baby blanket. Okay, so let's see here. Let me get this figured out. Hello, is anybody joining me yet today? It's Tuesday, the 13th of June. So you know that I was working on the Tunisian baby blanket. Okay, I do have an 8 o'clock client. Okay, good to know. I was working on the Tunisian baby blanket, and you know the original story was that it was like a picture frame where I have this X stitch, and I'll show you, around the edges and a Tunisian knit stitch in the morning. Good morning, Brian. And I did in a previous 5 Minute Crochet podcast that the gauge of the Tunisian knit in the middle, which would be the picture of in the picture frame, was wildly the wrong gauge, and so it pulled the whole thing in too much. Good morning, Linda. Great to see you too. And yes, one possible solution was to change the hook size, but that's kind of hard to do in Tunisian with like using my regular size hook and then picking up loops with the bigger hook, but then like you leave them on the hook for Tunisian. So, I mean, I guess I could twist off, with these interchangeable, I could change off the hook and put the bigger hook on and leave all the live stitches on here, and then, but that's really cumbersome, and the project was taking me a really long time anyway, so the idea of switching hook for half of a row every row was too much for me. So I decided that wasn't a viable option for this project, although the right thinking for sure. So then I decided to do the Tunisian yarn over lace in that panel in the middle section. I'm not going to show you what I ended up with, but the Tunisian yarn over lace for the middle pattern. So I had the cross stitch and then 2 rows of Tunisian knit, and I put two lines of Tunisian knit up the side and then Tunisian yarn over lace in the middle. Okay, it looked pretty good until I got about 8 or 10 rows in, when I realized that gauge was too big. So it's like the Goldilocks theory. It's like, it's too big, it's too small, and I was having trouble finding what was just right. So a lot of ripping out over the last 5 days, and I finally came to the conclusion that I just am making my life too hard. I'm making my life too hard. So the entire blanket is now going to be the Tunisian cross stitch, or yeah, crossed stitch, I guess you would call it. I'm about where I was before, not even where I was before. I have pulled back so many times. The yarn is starting to get tired and the gauge is starting to get a little loose in the middle. But now the plan is to make this entire fabric which has such an excellent drape and is so pleasant and fun to work. I don't know why I didn't do this anyway, but I guess I was trying to be fancy. I was trying to be fancy, but the truth is, thank you, Linda. So I'm going to do the entire blanket like this. So it's almost a thermal kind of feel to it, which is really pleasant for babies. And then I think I'm going to do a multi-row of Tunisian slip stitch, or just a traditional crochet slip stitch all the way around, so that it will almost look like a corded edging. So it'll really bind it off in a really, hopefully the gauge will work for that. Really with Tunisian, you don't need an edging at all. Look how beautiful and straight that edging is. So you really don't need an edging, but I think I'm going to add some dimension with a little bit of a corded look to it, with a couple of rows of slip stitch, which will turn into a cord of sorts. It'll kind of round off the edge, and I think that'll be a nice counterpoint to the field of cross stitch. So anyway, give me a thumbs up, but I also very much want to hear what you've been working on the last 5 days. So you know what I've been kind of working on the last 5 days with the red ascot, keyhole ascot scarf that I gave away. And you know that I have worked and reworked, so I'm on plan like D now for this project. So that's all for today, but let me know in the comments below what you're working on or what questions you have about this Tunisian blanket, and I will see you tomorrow for the 5-minute crochet podcast. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.